Hey Internet, thanks for tuning in. We've got some exciting news. The Suicide Squad extended cut came out a few days ago, and we're here to tell you guys if it was worth it, if it makes the movie better, if the extra scenes, apparently 11 minutes of footage was added to the film, if they're worth checking out. So we've got an expert panel, as we do every day here on Screen Junkies News. I'm your host, Hector Navarro. I'll go ahead and introduce our panel, and then we'll get right into it, guys, so that you guys can start commenting probably before the video's done. All right, here we go. First up, far left, we have the host of Flash and Friends, which means he loves DC, obviously, so calm down. Writer of Honest Trailers, Mr. Joe Starr. Joe, good to see you.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Thank you very much for being here. Next to Joe is a writer for Screen Junkies News. She's here every single day. Also from Chickbait on YouTube, Charlie Feldman is here. Charlie?
Hi, happy to be here.
Hi, thanks so much for being here. Great. And we don't know exactly what he does here, but we do know that he's the glue. Dan, the glue Merle from Screen Junkies. He's here every day. Come
you're
on.
too kind. Thank you.
You're too
Thank
kind.
you very
Yes.
much.
So you guys all saw the extra scenes, the 11 minutes of footage within this extended cut of the film that was added. Now, already the internet is saying this is a little bit different than the Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Cut, where things were really sort of moved around editing-wise, and the pacing was a bit different, and things were more extrapolated. This really is extended. We've got some extra scenes in it. Everybody just kind of, let's go down the line. We'll start with Dan. Give me your overall take on these scenes, yay or nay. How'd you feel about them?
I think there's two kinds of director's cuts. There's the Lord of the Rings kind, and I will give it the Batman v Superman kind in that it recontextualizes the movie, where it is adding additional material that fleshes things out and enhances the experience. And then there's the kind that I think this one leans more toward, which is just, hey, we want to sell more DVDs, Blu-rays, iTunes, downloads, whatever.
Sure.
We're going to sell this thing and call it an extended cut. I didn't find really anything much of substance added. So for me, I would say this is mostly unnecessary stuff to kind of hype up a new cut of the movie on the back of the Batman v Superman cut, which I agree, completely two different scenarios.
Right. Charlie, what'd you think?
And it felt a little bit cynical, just to jump from where you were talking, because there are apparently more scenes that we haven't seen that were in the trailer that we will, like Joker with half of his face burned off, lots of things, lots of lines that we never got to hear. So where did those go?
Exactly.
Because the scenes that we got, if you like what Margot Robbie was doing, if you like Harley, I think this will be fun, but it also doesn't exactly... It doesn't put a thread together with some of the scenes, because you get, so one of the scenes you get is her riding in a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And it's her confronting Joker and her trying to say that their love is right and real, and why is he trying to run away from it? And then the scene ends, and at some other point, there's the Ace Chemical Acid scene.
Right.
So where's the connective tissue? Where did the Joker have that realization that Harley might be worth it? Because we don't get it. And it's just going to be in our imagination, and I don't think that's as good as it could have been.
There's already memes online that people are putting out of Dave Chappelle character going, hey, you got any more of those Joker scenes, Warner Brothers?
Because they're
come on."
there.
Well, that's
and
what
they're
people
good.
want to see.
That's what people want to see.
And they were
Exactly.
hyping this up like, well, you know, there's a lot more Jared Leto Joker stuff out there.
Jared Leto himself said there is an entire feature film's worth of Joker footage out there in the ether.
Not in this movie.
No, I am one of those people who walked out of this film and was like, thank God for Will Smith and Margot Robbie, because they saved this thing.
Yeah.
If these scenes had been in that cut, even Margot Robbie would have overstayed her welcome for me. These were scenes, and now you leave my Lord of the Rings extended edition alone, because they are a Thanksgiving tradition in the Star household.
Plane, Joe.
But
Don't worry.
but this movie was definitely, well, those were deleted scenes, and they were deleted for a reason.
Sure.
Yeah, this was just to sell you an extended version of a movie.
The movie already has so many characters that it's juggling, and I think one of the faults of the film is that you want to spend more time with the ones that are really interesting, and we don't get enough time with those characters. So some of these extended scenes, let's talk about these for a little bit. We get a little bit more time with Killer Croc. We get a little bit kind of some more charactery stuff with him in the beginning, where he did bite off the hand of one of the guards at Belle Reve prison. Yeah.
You know, I'll say, speaking of that scene, if these deleted scenes did anything for me, they made me want to see more of that weird warden character.
Right.
That would just always be like, look, his hand is fine. It's great. It's good as new. Like, I was like, oh, this guy's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Ike Barinholtz was fantastic in that role, and that just, for me, when I watched the whole film, made me dislike Jared Leto, because I'm like, the Ike Barinholtz character is funnier than the Joker. The Joker should be the funniest character in the movie he's in, because he's the Joker.
But I don't want to see him acting. I don't want to see the Joker being, this is me being crazy.
Yeah.
I want to see, why I think Heath Ledger's Joker was so good is because he had his quiet moments, he had his brooding moments, you didn't know what was going on in his head. Jared Jared Leto's Joker is just all out character all of the time.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's talk about that scene, specifically the Harley and Joker scene. You've got Harley pulling over, running up to Joker on a bike, and their relationship is we go into it just a little bit more in this strange flashback. And again, the film already has so many flashbacks. It's already
this is a flashback.
It's a flashback. It's a scene where Harley's walking down the street in modern day. She sees a bike or something, a vehicle, and it makes her think about her chasing down the Joker in his purple Lambo. Do you guys think
Which is what I do when I see random objects all the time in my life.
Oh, remember that purple Lambo I saw?
Yeah.
Does this work? Does it add or does it take away, or is it just kind of extra fluff stuff that if, like we've been saying, if they're fans of the film, people that liked those performances, they're going to be fine, or does it take away from any of the Harley Joker dynamic?
I think it takes away from it.
I think it takes away. We got more. You said we got more character time in some of these deleted scenes, but I think the time we got in these deleted scenes is a larger problem in the movie where, yeah, there's stuff, but it's just stuff. Nothing ever really moves anything forward. Nothing ever really gives you information, valuable information about these characters. And this was more of the same. It was like, yeah, they're crazy. You can sure put a Papa Roach song under this relationship, but it still doesn't really give you anything about the Joker and Harley.
Well, the big thing that I came away with, and actually what this deleted scene did do for me, was it finally crystallized what my big problem with Jared Leto's Joker was. Which is there's a moment in this deleted scene where he just Jared Leto just goes, "I'm an idea," and it's just so on the nose, and it just all popped into my mind. Why I hated this Jared Leto version so much is that he's aping stuff that Heath Ledger did. He just is. The voice is too similar, but the thing that I really didn't like, and now that I realize, is that everything that Heath Ledger intimated in his performance as the Joker, Jared Leto took and made it the Banner. So all of that kind of insanity and craziness that Heath Ledger had just simmering under the surface is now I'm just going to take that, and that's the performance. And I realized watching that yes, it's that idea of the Joker, just take everything that's scary underneath the surface, just be like, here I am, this is me, crazy Joker.
That's in the writing. That's Ayer putting the tattoos on his head.
Yeah.
Literally.
Damage.
Yeah. It's damage.
And it's not just Joker, because a few of the deleted scenes do this more, where they're like, here's our subtext, where the Croc is like, at least I know it's a sewer, and Harley goes, let me explain that line for the audience.
With the bat.
Is the city also a sewer? And then you have Rick Flag and Will Smith walking together, and Rick Flag literally says, this is the point of the story where we have to talk about how we have to bridge the gap between criminals and people who think that they're just, in the gray area in between, so we can survive this.
Oh yeah, and he's like, these people like and respect you. I'm like, no, they don't. They met this guy yesterday. They have no reason to like him.
There's no time to respect
that scene really, again, solidified for me how strong Will Smith's performance was. He's so likable. He's such a great actor. I love Amanda Waller in this film. A fantastic performance as well. Again, Harley, Margot Robbie does a great job. I mean, all of the cast of characters, the whole Suicide Squad, they're really great and interesting characters. And some of these deleted scenes gave me some stuff that I thought was fantastic. A moment where Katana actually takes off her mask, because I'm like, great, I would have loved actually, let's focus on her and let's have a scene or two with her. Which brings me to the extra footage that we see.
Rick Flag explaining her to
This is Katana. Her blade carries the souls of her victim.
Great. And then in the deleted scene where Killer Croc throws up for a comedy beat and party foul, and that's all fun. That's great. But that brings me to let's talk about the bar scene. The bar scene in the regular theatrical version is a highlight of the film, and a lot of people use that as this is where the movie started to work. It really felt like the movie started here, and everything else was kind of built around that because it's a great scene. We get a little bit more with characters ordering specific drinks and having a little bit of an exchange. Diablo talking a little bit more before we get into what was in the theatrical. What did you guys make of the extra stuff at the bar scene?
I mean, that if you're gonna put anything back in, that was probably for me the thing was like, okay, that gives the characters a little bit of extra dimension. Is it necessary? Does it give me anything new? No, but that's the kind of thing that you like to see in these extended cuts, are scenes that let you live in that world a little better and not just weird random moments that don't really fit anywhere.
One of the most criminal things that I feel like Suicide Squad did. One of its most suicidal things that it did was it gave us a good Jai Courtney performance and left most of it on the cutting room floor. So he has a great line about, I can't remember exactly what it was, but his synonym for thieving, asset relocation. That's a great little line. His Getting thrown against the alley wall by Killer Croc was super fun. It was
Yeah.
like I was just trying to have a laugh.
We want to see the squad be a squad, and I think we got a lot of stuff in the comments that we're Marvel shills, but I think we're DC fans, and I think we need to hold DC movies accountable and be the movies we want to see. And I think some of the deleted scenes, especially that bar scene, point to a movie that could have been with exactly what we were given. Exactly the actors, just a little tweaking here and there.
Just to go off of that point, people always say, why do people favor of the Marvel films if you're going to have that stupid comparison, that rivalry between movies based off of DC Comics made by Warner Brothers? And I think the reason that critics and fans are harsher on the Warner Brothers stuff is because the characters are more iconic. They're arguably more important. I prefer Marvel Comics, but I love them both so much, and I have since I was 5. But when you have a movie called Batman versus Superman, or even something like Suicide Squad, which features the Joker and Harley Quinn, we got to hold those characters up to a high standard. They're not something like Thor: The Dark World, which is literally called Thor: The Dark World. It's who cares if that's good? Like it's called Thor: The Dark World. It's what characters are in it? Thor
and
Loki,
Dark Elves,
and some,
and,
exactly. And then Suicide Squad has these very iconic villainous characters, especially if you're a comic book fan. I mean, Captain Boomerang, the whole Suicide Squad idea, Katana, Enchantress, all those guys are great. Question for you guys: who is this extended cut for?
I mean, if you already like the movie, if you already like this movie, you'll probably like these scenes. If Joker yelling, and I quote, "You left me in a black hole of rage and confusion," is a line that you like the Joker saying, then you're gonna love these deleted scenes. And you probably loved Suicide Squad. I didn't. So outside of a few extra Jai Courtney things, which God help me is a sentence I never thought I would say in my lifetime, I wasn't high on these scenes.
Yeah, so basically, if you didn't like the movie, this isn't going to make you like it the way which was the case for a lot of people with the ultimate cut of Batman versus Superman.
But it's not going to add anything to it because, like it or not, like the ultimate cut of Batman and Superman, it absolutely added information and structure and context to that movie. These scenes don't necessarily, and I think it's proof, 100% positive proof, definitively, that all of this Joker stuff that we haven't seen is from the quote the different cut, the original whatever darker cut of the movie. Because I think if there was any way they could have included that stuff in the movie and would have had it make sense, they would have, because that would be a massive selling point for this cut, and that just indicates even further to me that I think these stories we've heard of 2 versions of this movie existing are true.
Yeah. So to kind of end on a little bit of a positive note, guys, let's just talk about Suicide Squad as a brand in general. Do you have hope for a sequel? Is there something that you think that the story can do? Do you think a sequel could be better, Charlie?
I'm looking forward to the Harley. It's not standalone anymore. It's now Harley and also Birds of Prey, and maybe we get her girlfriend Poison Ivy.
Yes.
I don't know. It's a lot of things put together, and I hope they chill on that because DC stuff never does better when it has more things going.
Right. It's like maybe Batgirl, but you know what? Maybe chill on that. Maybe just focus on Harley.
Just focus. But I'm looking forward to that. Not just because I'm a woman. I swear, it's because I think these characters are interesting, and I want to see a deep dive into Harley and her relationships and what makes her tick.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Hope springs eternal. I hope every movie's good. Star Trek: The Motion Picture is one of the dullest, drabbest, most lifeless movies ever made. And Star Trek 2 is one of the best science fiction movies ever made. So hope always springs eternal. Of course, I want every movie to be great.
Absolutely. Joe?
I think Suicide Squad as a concept is the American Idol of comic book movies, where it's like, here's a bunch of new things. Do you like some of them? We're going to get rid of some of them. Some of these are going to work. Some of these might work. And I think to a point, they're already successful. Like, Amanda Waller is going to stick around. Harley Quinn is going to get her stuff. Will Smith is going to stick around. Some of these are going to stick. Some of them are not. And I think a second Suicide Squad movie is just going to be another great opportunity to be like, we're going to throw a bunch of weird crap at a wall and see what sticks.
Would you want Air to do it?
Nope.
Properly. And with more than a few weeks to write the script.
Yes. Please.
Yes.
I'm for it.
Give them a year. Give some people a year to write that sucker. But all right, guys. So it looks like our final consensus is Suicide Squad extended cut. Is it worth it? Not really, but if you did like the film, definitely check it out. But it's not going to be something that's going to change your mind, whatever your mind was at before. So, guys, this was Screen Junkies News. We've got new stuff every single day. If you want to tweet at us, it's at SJ News. Go ahead and comment below if there's anything that we missed in the extended cut, what you loved about it, what you didn't like about it. If you agree, and I'm sure if you disagree, just go ahead and let us know below. And we can keep having this conversation, which is great. Again, I'm Hector Navarro, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.